Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. On today's video I'm going to share with you some of my macro hacks. As you know, I follow flexible dieting, and hopefully by now you guys are trying it out yourself, because in my opinion flexibility is the key to sustainability, and with flexible dieting it just allows you that choice to eat what you want and fit in your food with your lifestyle and still see results. So I'm going to share with you 8 different little hacks that I've found and I've picked up over the years of following flexible dieting, starting with number 1, and that is to never drink your calories, okay? And the exception there is alcohol if you're going out for drinks and whatnot, or something like a protein shake with milk if that's what you really want to do. But if you're in a calorie deficit, then 9 times out of 10 it's not a great idea to be drinking your calories. I'm talking about soft drinks, fruit juices and things like that. Switch it over to 0 calorie or low calorie drinks such as Coke Zero, things like that, like 0 calorie monsters if you're into energy drinks and don't like coffee, or just drinking your coffee black, or if you are drinking it with milk, making sure that it is accounted for. Macro hack number 2, and this has to do with weighing your food, and in particular anything that's in a jar, a container, such as ice cream, peanut butter, or even things out of a carton like milk. Put it on the food scale first, so assuming you already have a food scale, put it on there, zero it out, use what you need, and then you'll have the exact amount that you need without going a gram over or under. It's the most accurate way, extremely easy to do, and it takes all the guesswork out of it. Macro hack number 3, fitting your calories and your carbohydrates around your lifestyle and around your day. A great example of this is if I know that I'm going out for a big meal at night, let's say for example burger or pizza, or I just want to have a lot of carbs with dinner and later in the day, then I'll limit my carbohydrates earlier in the day and just stick to predominantly proteins and fats, saving up a bit of a buffer for later in the day where I can use them up, making sure that at the end of the day my targets are still met, I still hit the same amount of calories, the results will still be the same, the average over the span of the week is still going to be the same, and the results will still come. Macro hack number 4, eat protein with every single meal. Now, not only will this help you feel fuller for longer, and it also has a thermogenic effect, it also helps with muscle protein synthesis. Now, in normal terms, or normal people language, that just means it's going to help with muscle recovery and muscle growth. My recommendation is to try and get around 25 to 30 grams of protein with each meal. The only exception in my opinion is before bed. I tend to go for a larger quantity of protein because I'm going to be fasting while I'm asleep. Macro hack number 5, and this is another one to do with protein. Add a scoop here, add a scoop there. All I mean by that, if you're someone that struggles to reach your protein intake or your protein target by the end of the day, then a great idea is to add a scoop of protein, a whey protein shake with water, maybe blend it with ice and water and make it a little bit more high in volume, but add it in between your meals to bump your protein intake up for the day, or simply increase your portions. Another great thing to do, and this is something that I do myself if I'm low on calories, late in the day, or I just don't have an appetite, is I'll add a couple of scoops of protein to a protein smoothie. You barely tell the difference, but it bumps your intake right up, and you're going to be a lot more likely to reach your target by the end of the day. Macro hack number 6, track your condiments. Now that means sauces, some seasonings, like a lot of seasonings actually, things like butter, cooking oils, because guess what, they all contain calories and they need to be accounted for. If you're wondering why you're eating in a calorie deficit, or you think you're eating in a calorie deficit but you're not losing weight, you're not seeing progress, it may be because you're not tracking condiments. That also, not just condiments, it also can be things like milk in your coffee and tea, or sugars in your coffee and tea. They all need to be tracked, they all need to be accounted for to make sure that you're tracking your total calorie intake for the day and you're as consistent as possible. Macro hack number 7, take and give. Now what this means is that if you get towards the end of the day, let's say you're at your last meal and you're way off your calorie intake, you're not even close, you have a couple of options. 1, you can have a huge dinner if that's what you really want to do. Or 2, you can use those leftover calories and add them to the next day, or another day later in the week, or spread them out evenly over the next few days. Because in the end of the week, your weekly average is still going to be the same, so the results are going to be the same as well. This also applies if you have overeaten on a day, and I'm talking slightly overeaten. I'm not talking full binge. If you have done a full binge, then the best thing to do is use the goldfish mentality and just forget about it. Move on, go back to your normal training program, your normal macros the next day, maybe slightly increase water, but that's it, just go back to normal. But if you've just eaten over your calorie intake, let's say you've eaten over by 200 calories, the best thing you can do is over the next day or the next couple of days is subtract some calories from your intake to make up for that. So by the end of the week, the average is the same, the results will be the same, there's absolutely no need to stress at all. Macro hack number 8, and this is the last one. I want you to choose high volume, low calorie foods. An example of this is I could easily go and eat 2 Pop-Tarts and have a whey protein shake and hit X amount of calories. Or another example may be eating some oats with protein powder, maybe a little bit of sugar-free syrup, some berries, and maybe even fit in some peanut butter in there and still hit exactly the same macros, exactly the same calories. And I think it's obvious that the oats is going to fill me up a little bit more than Pop-Tarts and a protein shake with water. So be smart with your food choices. Add in things like vegetables, other volumes that are high in volume, low in calories that keep you fuller for longer. You'll be a lot more likely to stick to your calorie intake and your macro targets for the day. Alright guys, I hope you've enjoyed this vlog or this video today. It's not so much a vlog, I didn't show you too much of what I did today. But these are my 8 favorite macro hacks. If you have any more, feel free to comment them below. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up and please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll chat to you guys tomorrow.